Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Scaling Station podcast, powered by Orza Growth Partners. I'm your host, Will Radosky, and today I'm joined by Rafael Weiss, founder of Sytes. Rafael, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing, Will?
Pretty good. We were just catching up before hitting record, and Rafael and I were talking about if I should have questions on my monitor or not. And sometimes it's really helpful. He gave his explanation, and after his explanation, I put pictures of a beach on my screen because I don't think I'll need the questions. So search waves Australia, and now I got that going. But Rafael, why don't you tell me, the audience, a bit about yourself?
Well, how far back do we want to go? We want to go
The DJ
pre-commercial real
days,
estate, like the
the
DJ
DJ
era.
days.
I mean, I lived in LA for almost 8 years. I was a DJ at the time. I moved there when I was 21. I was moved there when I was 20, but I was about to turn 21, and just had a weird little successful run in that world. Lived not too far from where you are right now in Hollywood and all over LA actually, but had a good run there. Didn't last too long. Music business is hard, way harder than commercial real estate. I don't care what anybody tells you or what any of these brokers think, but try putting a release out on Spotify right now and getting any traction. It's so much easier to sell a 4-cap Dollar General than get a million plays on Spotify right now. So I don't care
Cool.
what anybody
That's
says.
cool.
But yeah, I had that going on. Yeah, I realized that I needed to get into something else, and I started getting more interested in commercial real estate. I did this little stint on the Appalachian Trail when I was 25 in 2018, and I just I realized I needed to kind of get into something else. I got more into film and TV music production, but I was also learning and studying real estate at the same time. I went to UCLA for some programs on real estate as well. So that's why we were talking about Westwood earlier. I was talking about going to like this float lab thing over there. But anyways, that's a tangent. So yeah, I got into commercial real estate through my father, number one. He was a developer, learned a lot from him. And also I was just generally interested in it. So read a lot of books while I was out there on the trail. I was in the middle of nowhere, just listening to people talk about cap rates on Audible. I'm like on like some mountain in New Hampshire.
Which podcast or which audiobook would you do?
Oh man, I've ripped so many audiobooks, and then it was like all Joe Rogan. I'm back in the day. It was like 1,000 hours of Joe Rogan. It was crazy. I was up
Was
to
he
date. Like, I listened to every single episode, legitimately. I
was
was 100%.
whoa was he talking about triple nets and tax
Joe
depreciation?
Rogan definitely was not talking about triple nets. He was talking about
Where'd you
dropping
learn that stuff?
Iowa. Um,
UCLA?
you see, I think I listened to a couple different, I'm trying to remember. I read Zeckendorf. I didn't listen to it. I read Zeckendorf out there. Uh, Man, I really have to look back. I was listening to like a lot of like the bigger I was like complete like noob
No,
real estate.
that's my I only listen to Bigger Pockets, and then
Yeah.
Brandon Turner, he has like a new
Yes.
podcast. I forget what
Yes.
it's called, but Brandon Turner, I do fix and flips. Brandon Turner's
There you go.
great. Like
Yeah.
he's
So it was like entry level kind of stuff. So I
it's
got
very
into that.
entry level. He's pretty cheesy, but like
Yeah.
even his books are helpful.
I read like a book or listened to this book on like how to develop commercial real. I think that was literally what it was called. How to develop
Yeah.
commercial real
For
estate.
dummies.
What's that? For
For
dummies?
dummies.
Honestly, I did read like a book for dummies. I don't know if it was that one in particular, but there was definitely a for dummies in there.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so DJ, who's the biggest inspiration in DJing, or like who's your player comp?
Oh my God, man. I have to think about that. Who was my
Afro
guy back in
house, deep techno.
yeah, that was before Afro House and all that. It was like Electro House was like the big thing.
Yeah.
It was one second here. Let me put this on Do Not Disturb. Afro House was the big deal. Um, we were we were playing a lot of like I got into like a lot of like bass music. Like I was like a big like drum and bass guy, which is like getting popular
D&B.
right now, which sucks. Yeah, I was early to the wave. I had like one of the best drum and bass remixes in
No
2016.
way.
Yeah, it was like one of the biggest ones on SoundCloud. It was like a Linkin Park
Damn.
remix.
I'll give it a listen, but that's too fast for me. I need it to be.
Yeah, I was big into drum and bass, and I play a lot of like house music back then. So it was just
Yeah.
like house and drum and bass.
Who's your favorite electronic artist or house artist?
Oh my God, man. That's a good question. I don't want to go too obscure because nobody's gonna know who the hell I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about.
Someone the people will know.
Um, oh man, who do I like right now? Uh, I mean, I was like big into the Prodigy and Daft Punk. Like that was like I
Daft
liked a lot
Punk.
of like the '90s stuff.
Yeah. God,
Yeah, so I was big
all
into that.
all 70 of my viewers are gonna really, really think about you differently now that they know.
Exactly. I mean, I put it out there in the open, man. I don't care. Let them know. You know.
Yeah,
That's the thing. A lot of these people in commercial real estate, they have like crazy past lives. They just don't like to talk about it for whatever
yeah.
reason. But I don't see any reason to,
Well, it's kind of like
hide who you
that's like one of our past conversations between you and I was wondering if you could share or explain a bit about how when building sites, we'll get into sites now. Like, what's been your most successful marketing? And I feel like it's organic. But are you looking at ads? Are you doing like all sorts of different marketing to attract business because you're working with some pretty household names in the retail leasing space already?
Yeah. Um, Big push was LinkedIn organic. Uh, we didn't really do like any growth hacky stuff. I went more like the things that don't scale kind of approach. So I was literally like cold calling. Like I cold called the head of real estate for scooters, got her on. Uh, it was the worst cold call of my life. I literally, it was so awkward. I was like, "Hey, is this, Stacy?" And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like,
Uh,
"Great." She's like, "Who is
I'm
this?" I'm
gonna I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna open up the floor for like a couple minutes right here, but
yeah.
I recently made a cold call on behalf of my new business, and it was my first one. And I was just like, I've made thousands of cold calls, but I was like, oh my god, because it was my first one. I just picked up the phone, ripped it, and it went so poorly because it had been a couple months. Okay, but back to you.
It happens, man. Yeah, it happens. It happens to the best of us. But yeah, I was doing a lot of cold calling, a lot of in person, like, hey, let's meet at the conference. Let me show you what I got. I had a lot of connections from the space before because I knew a bunch of tenants and I knew, I was doing development. I have some centers, right? So we had some little connects here and there. And yeah, where I was able to get like just seeded enough to where it could grow into something close to what it is today. Sorry, hey, you're muted. I can't hear you.
That is technical difficulties. I think there's like a security outage out there, something like that.
What
Um,
is it AWS?
yeah, the AWS. No, that was yes, or I don't know. Is it still going on? But
I have no
I just
idea.
clicked.
Everyone was blaming
I
everything on AWS. Like I spilled like a cup of water and it was like, AWS outage.
that's that's what I just did because I literally clicked mute about 30 seconds ago. But yeah, it was mute.
All good,
um,
all good.
so organic LinkedIn posting, and then just kind of doing whatever it takes, whether it's cold calls, emails, just about anything. How many clients, or how do you look at like usage and adoption? Like how many people are using sites right now?
We have hundreds of people using Sytes. You know, it's not the biggest marketplace in the world, right? Uh, so it's more about quality over quantity. That's
Yeah.
why we charge everybody to be on there. We don't allow any freemium type situations. My whole philosophy was that you care about stuff that you pay for. And the reason like these
Yes.
marketplaces never succeed is because there's no investment from both sides of the
Yeah.
platform, and there needs to be a higher level of investment in this process. So that was kind of, I think, the trick here to getting this thing off the ground is the tenants that were actually on there weren't just like half-assing it. They really were doing their entire process
Yeah.
on there. They're really reviewing deals, and people are
Yeah.
actually like getting things done.
And if they're getting things done, even if they're only paying like $500 a month or $99 a month, what's crazy about that is, or not crazy, but something else positive coming out of that is if they don't like it, they have to cancel their credit card, and that takes like time and effort, and so they're probably going to give you feedback. Have you found that to be the case, and are you getting like good feedback?
So So we actually have month to month for
Oh,
tenants. Yeah, so they're not on. We just started doing annual contracts, like literally just now. Um, but we haven't really had much churn on the tenant
nice.
side at all. Landlord side in the beginning, there was churn just because like we're these guys are coming on. They're like, I don't care about McAllister's and your tenants, and it's like you know, I don't want to stick around and experience and see where it goes. Like, give me my money back. It's
Yeah.
like, wait, you signed an annual contract. Like, what are you talking about? Like, they're like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Give me my money back. I'm like, oh god, this is so annoying. So that's why we stopped doing month to month for them. We switched to annual upfront, and it also keeps them on, right? But
Yeah.
they screwed up big time. Those guys that churned early because obviously we have a ton of tenants on now, and like there's a ton of deals happening. But for a while it was
Yeah.
slow. I mean, we gave them an early adopter price, but some guys they just don't believe, And then there was other scam artists that were just coming on, and like we didn't have analytics back then, but we had like some like rudimentary stuff, and we're able to see like basically they just came on, tried to like take a bunch of screenshots and like leave, and we
Mhm.
didn't have any like scraping measures in place. So these guys were coming in just like taking us, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we don't see any value like a 1 month in. Meanwhile, like we see, because we control the pipeline for some of our tenants, in terms of like when they get sites submitted to them, we can see them through our AI agent Rio, which is the AI email
Mhm.
agent. Anyways, we were seeing all these sites coming in for this for this tenant from a customer that like was like, yeah, I don't see any value, and it's like, dude, come on, like, are
Yeah.
you kidding me right now? And he ended up paying again. He signed up.
That's so funny. And they're working on 7 million to $500 million acquisitions or something like,
Oh my god, man, yeah.
or
So
leases.
that was the funny part is like, we'd have these guys like complaining about like $100 a month
Yeah.
subscription. It was 1,200 for the year back then, and it
Wow.
was like, and they'd buy a couple stays from it might be like 200, $300. It's like, all right, if you hit one, you're
Yeah.
making your money back times like a million. Like, are you
Yeah.
kidding
The
me?
ROI. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
And
always, sorry, go ahead.
oh no, go ahead. Yeah, that was Crexy's pitch, probably, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, for any sales team, what you want is case studies. That's gonna be like something that could help you get deals over the line. And so when
Exactly.
people would find a deal using Crexy's data, then as a sales rep, I would go tell more people about that because it genuinely, like sites, can help you find deals. So
No, it's true. It's 100% true. We we weren't seeing that too much in the beginning. Like it was sparse, but now it's like, wow, every week I'm hearing about a lease get signed. It's like, whoa, this is
yeah,
crazy. Like this thing's actually
damn,
working. Like it's pretty nuts, man. Like I got friends getting deals done. They're like thanking me, like they got the hookup price, and it's like it's pretty cool, man. It's
Yeah.
cool to see.
What are the features that those users are, utilizing to find deals and to help you keep churn so low?
So it's literally just the tenant map, and now we release landlord tenant matching. But the reality is, like, you can go on that map, you can see where every single tenant wants to be down to like the 1 mile radius, and send them a deal. And they're on there checking their inbox on Sytes, right? So they're looking at their sites and proposals dashboard, which has every site that's submitted to them. And they're doing deals from there. They actually need a location there. So it almost sounds so stupid, but it's like they're literally just telling these people where they need a deal, and these people are sending them a deal, and they're getting a deal done. It's like, wow, it's not rocket science. It's just the process was so obfuscated before and opaque that we made it into this big deal that it shouldn't have been.
That's why commercial real estate is better than being a DJ, because the systems are so antiquated.
Oh yeah, 100%.
If you can build a real solution like Sytes, then people will adopt. It's just a matter of getting it in front of those people, I feel like.
100%.
Because they're not looking for the next best tool. They're just doing their systems, and it's probably working out pretty well. That's how even the best brokers don't have to use AI every day. Like, they have their network, their Rolodex. And I feel like they could just thrive there.
Tried and true methods. That's my biggest barrier. It's like trying to get these guys off their like tried and true
resistance almost. Yeah.
Oh my God. It's the worst. Yeah. Trying to sell sites, and they're like, oh, I'll just, my tried and true methods. I'm like, look, have you heard of ChatGPT? Because this tried and true method stuff is not going to go too well.
It's going to steal all my information, isn't it? I'm just kidding.
I mean, good.
Who knows? Cool. And looking forward, where do you want to take Sytes? You just want every industrial tenant and restaurant real estate team in the country using it?
I want much more than that. I want all retail, industrial, office, medical. I want it all. I want.
You help acquisitions. Of course, lease data, tenant data is important with acquisitions, but is it all tenant reps using you, or do buyer reps, listing reps use it?
Nah, the buyer reps, they don't really use us. There are like some situations where like there's a tenant that only purchases like a car wash or something, for example. And like some investment sales guys have wisened up to the fact that like they could like send deals to tenants that purchase. So like they could like try to sell raw land or like existing vacant stuff. But like, yeah, typically like the big acquisitions guys don't use us unless they use us to like underwrite where demand is for a shopping center. So like if you see like a cluster of tenants over an area where you're buying a center and maybe there's some vacancy, or maybe it's like, there's some churn coming up soon, you'll know like, oh, okay, I could backfill with like X, Y, and Z when I buy this thing. God forbid if I lose.
I mean, that would be important for acquisitions groups.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I used it on my last acquisition. I had a property in Sevierville, Tennessee that had a vacancy, and I was looking at one vacancy left. I was looking at tenants that could backfill and all that. So I definitely use it.
So for your site, how do you reach out to those tenants? Or
so
how do you use it to? Yeah, I think you understand. Like, how do you use it to find tenants, whether it's filters or outreach?
All I do is I go on Sytes, I log into Sytes, right? And I'll type in the address of any piece of real estate that I'm interested in. And it literally shows me every single tenant that's interested in that piece of real estate, who they are, what their criteria is, what makes sense for them, what doesn't. And then I can make my assumptions from there. And then on the other side, if I want to take the time to like really upload a site, I can put all the details of that site in there, and then it'll literally feed me matches with tenants that have a requirement in that market.
Mm. So sorry, and I'm only looking at it through the buyer's lens because that's how I can. That's what I can relate to a sense. Um, so you would probably find the deal, maybe using Sites because maybe you see some vacancies or like a certain area, but you would source the deal another way through a broker, through an online marketplace. But then Sites delivers so much value on a go forward.
Exactly. Yeah. We're not the place to source deals on like the buy side, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like lease side sourcing.
Yeah. If lease info is what drives Sites, then do you want to get into multifamily? Or
No.
is it like too tough because rent rates are impossible to comp out?
Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense because we wouldn't have like, a single tenant just like, I mean, I guess
Yeah.
theoretically you could have like a renter come on there and be like, I want to rent it in this area, but no, it's not
Yeah.
worth it at that point. Yeah, we have to stick to commercial, like, and that's pretty much it. Just larger uh, style tenants that you could
Yeah.
craft an entire deal around.
Yeah. I feel like it would, I feel like it's, not to keep bringing up Crexy, but I feel like they kind of stay out of multifamily just because it's not, it's still residential, even though 5+ units, whatever, like it's
For
residential.
sure.
It makes a lot of sense. My only thought was like, if you are going to be the place for lease data, it could be cool to have like lease comps or just like something quick on multifamily from like a bird's eye view. Maybe not because
Yeah.
you're not brokering poor tenant to landlord, but you're like doing something else.
Yeah, we don't have real lease comp data on there.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on with the leases,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Maybe one day we're gonna get into like sending like an LOI or something like that. But really, we just have tenant tenant demand data. That's what we have.
Nice.
We know where tenants want to be, and the data is literally coming from the source, which is the tenants themselves. We don't make any assumptions. The tenants come on, they post what they want to post, and they tell people where they want to be, and they get deals done. And that's it.
That's what's so important because software AI is only as good as what you feed it, whether that's a
Exactly.
prompt or whether that's the tenant on your site telling you what they're looking for.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a lot of software out there that's like they don't care about data quality, and like that's all I care about. So
Yeah.
it's almost to the detriment of scaling. I care more about data quality than anything else.
Who'd you build CRE.com with?
So my partner's Dean Slows, great guy. He I met him at music school in North Hollywood,
No way.
California. Yeah, at Icon Collective. So he was my buddy's roommate who was in my class, Kyle Tonoli, who's now Telecast, who's like a big DJ. I feel like they have some big remixes out there right now. I
Telecast.
think they
Yeah,
just
that
got a
sounds familiar.
residency in Vegas.
Damn.
Yeah, they're good guys. They
So
still live out.
how did these music guys all manage to learn commercial real estate and build this product?
I don't. You know what? It as funny as it sounds, like commercial real estate is not. I don't know how to say it. Like it's not that difficult. Like I know a lot of ex DJs that are in commercial real estate, like Aviva, who just sold me like a $9.6 million industrial deal in Boulder, Colorado, was a DJ. She was mom and dad. I remember posting her stuff on Reddit Electronic Music in 2019, or 2020. And you know, she's a insane industrial broker. I think she's the number one like most followed industrial or commercial real estate broker on TikTok for sure.
Damn.
Um, yeah, and then my other buddy Brandon Weiss who's like head of Saks Global, right? And so that's like Nordstrom, Saks Fifth. He was Kasum, and he was another DJ. I used to like we used to tweet at each other. We have the same last name, and like we are both like putting remixes out
I
of
asked if
like
he's your.
pop.
I was gonna ask if he's your brother, but no, you guys went B2B at Sound or Spin or something.
Sound, yeah, dude, in Hollywood.
Uh,
No, we never played together, but we were always on the same blogs. Like we would
yeah,
literally
yeah,
would be like it would be like my remix then his.
it's funny. Um, cool. So just maybe like a sentence or like really easy way to frame Sites, because from our conversation it sounds more like a communication platform, which is necessary and needed in the industry. But like, how would you just kind of give me an elevator pitch?
It's a marketplace. It's a reverse Crexy, reverse CoStar, right? So it's demand driven instead of supply driven. Or if you view tenants as the supply, then I guess it's supply driven, right? But it's putting tenants in the driver's seats. They can put exactly where they need to be, and then landlords, developers, leasing brokers can send them deals where they need to go. Yeah, so it's just a reverse listing marketplace.
Nice. And
Yeah.
what do you want to get to, or what do you see as the long-term vision with
My
Sites?
my goal my goal is to accelerate the leasing process in commercial real estate. I want to cut lease time down by like 90%. I want developers to be able to get deals under contract and be able to have no risk capital up because they know that they're going to get a lease signed on that raw piece of land that they have under contract, and they don't even have to wait for the deposit to go hard. That's what I want. I want to change the landscape of how development's done and how fast it gets done. And I think by being able to speed it up, it can actually change the financing for it in a total different way.
Nice. And then how about as a founder? Do you just want to make a product and build this thing so special that changes $1 trillion industry, or do you want to travel the world, or both?
I already did all that, man. I screwed around in my 20s. I'm putting in like 18-hour days. I don't know. I just like building something that's going to make an impact. I'm doing okay financially. I'm not like, starving here. This is coming from a different place than I guess what a typical founder would be dealing with.
Nice. And then you invest in commercial real estate too,
I
or
do. Yeah.
yeah. So you're probably solving a lot of your own pain points that you felt as an acquisitions
That's
guy.
really it. I'm just building stuff that like I want to solve for myself. I'm not. This isn't some like focus group thing. This is like I really hate when X happens, so I'm gonna do Y to fix it. Right.
Yeah.
I don't care about like you know what 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 some market survey is. This is my thing, right? So
Yeah.
I don't like it when people hide pricing in commercial real estate software, right? That's like I hate that. That's like one of my biggest pet peeves is when I go to a website and I can't find pricing, and then this rep is telling me like, oh yeah, the pricing for you is going to be like 15,000. I'm like, is this guy really selling it for like 3,000? And he just thinks like I'm loaded, so he's going to sell me something for like 10 times more than what it should be selling for. No, I hate that. So that's why we have pricing public on Sytes. Go to sitescre.com. You'll literally see pricing. All the pricing is public. We don't rip anybody off. We're not gouging anybody. We do have enterprise, but it's just because we can't make a plan for like some 20-person company, and we'll
Yeah.
probably give you a discount. So, that's really it.
I love it. I could not agree more. Residential, you could find more transparency and subscription, even month to month style pricing. But commercial, uh, I felt it firsthand. I know one company that is especially insane with what you're talking about, but they might sue me, so I'm not going to say the name.
Absolutely.
uh,
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous, Not only that, but, the pricing's one thing. There's also these guys that are hoarding information that make it super difficult for anybody who's not their buddy at the golf club to be able to do business with their tenants, right? And I'm blowing that completely out of the water.
not,
I'm
yeah,
enabling powerful, good tenant rep brokers that want to do their job, but I'm also making it really difficult for bad, shady tenant rep brokers to be able to get their job done anymore. Like I'm making their lives hell because now everything's transparent. Everyone knows what's going on. So you can't, try to guide sites to your golf buddy who you're getting a kickback from because that's what's happening. All right. I don't care what anybody's saying, but that is what's happening. Right. And I've had it done to me. And, sometimes if you're buddies with a tenant rep broker, it does benefit you. Yes, that's true. But it's not conducive to an effective market, right? It's
an
not making the market
ecosystem,
better. Yeah, exactly.
make it like more holistic. Yeah,
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 it's an inefficiency in the marketplace, right? Because what that does is it doesn't let the best deal win, and the best
yeah.
deal needs to be winning. The best the best site needs to be winning and the best sites need to be seen, right? So if we're making it easier for that to happen, I think velocity of commercial development as a whole, in terms of like retail, industrial, medical, all that is going to increase, because a big pipeline gap, or sorry, a big pipeline stop is not being able to know who your tenants are or who your tenants are going to be, and then having to play these games, right? But it's 2025. We don't need to do that anymore. We have technology that can bypass all of that and can speed run the entire process. And then it's like, what ramifications does that have on the entire market? Like, what can financing do now that they know that your 100% tenants are in place before you even have to go hard on a deposit? Are people going to like underwrite deals in a different way because this technology exists? I don't know. I think potentially it could happen. There's a lot that's happening behind the scenes here, and there's a lot that I think about, but that's why it's so exciting to me. Like, it's really cool to be able to build something that has like this effect on this market, right? I feel like I'm doing almost like a service.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't even ask, but you just explained your why. And like that's really important for founders and
Sure.
products too, not like just business as a whole.
100%, man. I was the guy at these conferences waiting in line at the booth, trying to meet these real estate reps and tenant rep brokers and whoever the hell else at ICSC and Retail Live and any conference that I could get my hands on to try and do deals, right? And it just, not that in person isn't great. It is great. But what do you do when the conference is over, right? You got to have something to do. And it just can't be cold call or email. Because the email inboxes are filled up. There's too many people on them. There's too much noise. It's all about reducing noise and bringing signal up. We're 100% signal at Sytes, right? 100% signal.
That's amazing. Yeah, referrals and word of mouth are great because they're probably like the easiest type of lead or like intent, but that's a lot of in-person stuff and networking and conferences, which takes so much time, like so much time. I mean, if
Takes a lot of
you
time.
don't have
Doesn't
you don't have a successful conference or you don't get a referral 1 month, then what do you do?
That's exactly it. No, you're screwed.
But then the other, like you mentioned, email, LinkedIn, they're pretty saturated. So it's how you stand out. I think you explained how you stand out on the landlord and acquisition side. Now you have 6 minutes, so we'll wrap up with how you explain or how you lead with value on the tenant side. So church's chicken and all that.
For sure. So, these tenants, they're coming on, they're drawing a bunch of bubbles on a map in the most rudimentary way to kind of put it. And they're getting fed sites that work for them in areas they want to be in that meet all their criteria. And our AI knows all the tenant's criteria after the tenant takes 5 minutes to input it. So it's screening out any sites that don't work. It knows what trade areas they want to be in. So it's screening out sites that, once again, aren't in areas they want to be in. So what are they left with? They're left with a bunch of perfect sites that are in areas that they want to be in that meet their criteria. And it could be as complex criteria as they want. If you want a site that has a grease trap with 20-foot ceilings and the population within a 1 mile radius that has a cockatoo is over 10%, we can make that happen for you. Will I guarantee that I'm going to get you that site? No, but it's possible. You can do it.
But who wants to be that granular or have that many site selection filters?
You would be surprised, but there are crazy tenants. Yeah. But no, they're not always that crazy, but we get them those sites, right? Because they're getting found by our customers and developers that want to do deals there, right? And then these tenants are getting fed deals that they've never even seen before, right? Because their data is out there with 3 other tenants, right? And a developer got smart and is like, okay, if Churches wants to be here, Dutch wants to be here, Dogtopia wants to be here, and whatever else wants to be here, well, I can get 4 acres of land under contract, put Sheets, Dogtopia, Churches, and whoever else here, Popeyes, right? Or maybe not Popeyes and Churches, but You get my drift. They can do
Yeah,
a
of course.
4-acre multi-tenant deal where before they might have just known where one tenant wanted to be, but they couldn't connect all the dots. We're connecting all the dots for them, putting it on a silver platter, saying, here, make $10 million. How is that not going to be a successful product? Of course it is.
I think it is. And listen to my Linkin Park drum and bass remix while you make this, close this deal.
Definitely not.
You're retired? You're retired?
Sure.
Okay, Rafael, this has been amazing. If people want to follow along, where can they find you online?
I'm on LinkedIn, obviously. I'm a LinkedIn addict. So LinkedIn, Rafael Weiss. I'm on X as well. I'm starting to get going on the tweeting or Xing. I don't even know what they call it anymore, man. But yeah, on X, Rafa Weiss, CRE, and then same thing on Instagram.
You're just a big Elon guy, whatever it's called.
Yeah, I mean, something, whatever, man. I mean, I'm on where the commercial real estate market's on. So
I'm gonna clip that. That'll be the short we get out of. No, I'm just kidding. That's amazing. Seriously, I think Sytes is changing the game. So if you're in commercial, any asset class, just at least go check out sytescre.com. I think you'll be surprised.
Thanks, man. Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you, Rafael.
All right.